Man, listen, 2023 has been spectacular for all of the hardcore, diehard boxing fan. And I believe if you coming back and rocking with me, this little video channel, you are most definitely more than likely an extremely hardcore boxing fan. And man, it's just been an incredible year. I think this is going to be a year that's going to be hard to top in the foreseeable years to come. More things to be excited for, especially Canelo versus Jermell Charlo. I'm just happy one of the Charlo twins are finally getting a crack at at Canelo Alvarez. Even though I wish it would have been Jermell, the bigger twin, who's probably been in a little bit more situations closer to being in that chase with Canelo Alvarez. But I do think Lil Twin is probably in a better position to take on that challenge. And listen, I think we're going, like I told you guys before, I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised about the performance that Lil Charlo is going to put on against against Canelo Alvarez. I think we're going to be surprised. But I ain't picking them to win. Hell no, I got Canelo. I got Canelo. Now, I know some of y'all ain't going to agree with me. And listen, I get it. I always understand that I get it. And I understand if we not on the same page. But in order to beat Canelo, for undisputed at that, you got to pull a B-ball, man. You got to dominate Canelo. Because more than likely, they're gonna give Canelo the first 4 rounds like they did against B-ball. Right? They're going to be giving Canelo some head-scratching ass rounds. And, if you don't knock him out, which I definitely don't think you're going to knock him out, say what you want about Canelo, he's got a chin scrap. He's going to edge you out on those cards, man. You got to put a beating on him. You know what I'm saying? You got to either hurt him or completely dominate him every round in order to win that fight. And I just don't think Jermell Charlo's going to do that. But Jermell Charlo's got a message for any doubters. He's got a message for niggas like me. Yeah. He got a message for niggas like me, the doubters. Because, listen, I'm not saying that I'm a doubter. All I'm saying is I'm honestly giving my opinion. I don't think he does enough to beat Canelo. When I look at both of the Charlos, the arsenal, is very favorable in a lot of fights. But to go in there with somebody more than likely, I'm not saying he is, but I think he's outgunned in the power department. If Canelo brings any kind of real head movement with him that he's been known to have in the past, not so much in the recent couple fights, but if that defense sharpens up and he's learned a few things from the Bivol fight and can get out of the way of some of those counters that's probably going to come his way from Jermell, that could be effective. And Jermell's got to survive the power. He can't make one mistake in this fight, because if he do and get caught on the button, it's probably going to be night. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it's going to be that way at all from the other side. I'm not sure that 154 power, even though he's bulked up, is going to translate well against, the thick iron chin of Canelo Alvarez. It is what it is. All right, let's hear what Jermell Charlo had to say for niggas like me.
Was reading about the fight. Boxing News wrote this, quote, "This should be an easy victory for Canelo, who will have the power advantage as well as being vastly more experienced," end quote.
All right, well, let me say this. I don't think it's going to be easy for Canelo. Let me put that out there. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be a scrap, but I think Canelo pulls it out. That's how I honestly feel.
Your reaction to that?
And fuck them. They don't like me. They ain't never like me anyways. Them motherfuckers don't like me. They write all that crazy shit. They talk crazy about me. They talk crazy about them. Be proud of what's going on. Be happy for the fight. But I don't care about them.
When you step in the ring, it will be 16 months since you last fought.
Right.
I know you've been rehabbing and all that. Will that be an issue? You always hear fighters say no, and then after the fight say, well, it's been a while. The rust was there. Will that be an issue?
I don't get no excuses. I don't care about it. I don't got excuses. Whatever happens, happens. And I'm not coming in there to lay down. I'm coming to win. I come to win this fight. I don't care about all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Forget what they say. I don't care about none of that.
I like that. And that's just how his training partner and stablemate and Errol Spence, man, he was the same way. He didn't make any excuses. He allowed his fans to make all of the excuses for him. And I believe Jermell Charlo's gonna stand on that. And again, let me say this: I'm not saying that he gets in there and he completely gets washed. I think his style is going to make this an interesting fight. All I'm saying is Canelo's undisputed at 68. It is Canelo Alvarez, and he's going to have to do a hell of a lot to get in there and to actually beat him where they can't just give Canelo the fight. And can he do that coming off one of my concerns, which I told you going into the Errol Spence Bud Crawford fight, was the layoff. One of my biggest concerns is this 16-month layoff, which coincidentally is about the same amount of time that Errol Spence had been out of the ring when he fought Bud Crawford. And when I told you guys where you felt like Errol Spence may have not looked like himself, and I think that was just a case of the ring rust showing up. Listen, guys, you got to understand, ring rust is real. It's real. All right? It's not like some myth that you hear about. You actually can have ring rust when you're not in there and you have real fights. Real fights are just completely different from training and sparring. It's facts. Ask any of the real professionals. They'll tell you. And hopefully that's not the case for Jermell Charlo, because then you'll hear the same thing about Jermell Charlo. He looked nothing like himself. Maybe there's something neurologically wrong. Maybe this, maybe that. He just was rusty, bro. You know what I'm saying? Don't come in this fight looking extremely rusty, because that leads to you not being sharp, and that leads to you getting your ass whooped. And again, if Canelo can catch him on the button, if Canelo catches him on a button, and listen, Canelo got the kind of power, it ain't even got to build the button. It can be around the button. And, it's night-night. But Charlo, more than capable of fighting off the back foot and picking spots to work with Canelo on the inside and surviving this fight, and maybe even outboxing him, but getting a decision over Canelo. It's got to be a Bivol performance. It's got to be a Dimitri Bivol performance to perfection. And I'm not sure he gets that done. Therefore, I will have to roll with Canelo. All right, you guys let me know what you think in the comment section, man. Big T.O. Heavy Bag. Talk to him, Roger.
Most motherfuckers don't know shit about boxing.